Hey, what is it? What is up, guys? King of Underworld here with my special guest, as always, the Crown Fiend. How about you introduce yourself?
All right, guys, you already know who it is. It's the boy, your emperor of the Fiend Nation, Crown Fiend. And today we're coming right back at you guys with What If Deku and Shinsou Were Heroic Spirits Part 3. So that's my introduction. Underworld's going to go ahead and give you guys your recap, and he'll start us off. So I'll see you guys when it's my turn.
All right. We left. We left off after the USJ incident as both Shinso and Deku were fighting their way throughout the building, and both of them displaying unique abilities. He was able to conjure a gate to the underworld, which caused massive devastation amongst the villains of rank and numbers. And Shinso even taking the life of Kaminari. But before being found out, Jiro had told Ozawa, no, it wasn't him. It wasn't Shinso that killed Kaminari, it was someone else. And we'll lead back off after we come back in after Shinso had received a letter asking him to come to the clock tower with Izuku. And this is what we're going to come back right into it. So, Ozawa had put in an announcement saying, alright, you guys got the next 2 weeks off. We have to clean this mess up. As the rest of the class is just still shocked about what happened and the recent death of their classmate. Everybody was in mourning of Kaminari over the 2 weeks, and one of the people that was hit most was Jiro, but Shinso seemed to consolidate her, and she managed to keep her feelings from being shown too much to the rest of the class. But after the 2 weeks were over and everybody had returned back to school, Ozawa had stated to the class, "All right, we were able to still manage to get the school to hold the school festival, or the sports festival to be more exact. We were given permission to go ahead with it, as if the school festival falters, there would not be a light in the dark time to people to try and alleviate themselves from. So I got the order from Principal Nezu to let you know that you all should train in the next 2 months and be prepared for the sports festival." As he looks towards Izuku, then Shinso, and says, "You two, head to the principal's office immediately. Nezu wants to talk to you both." As they just look at each other and it's like, as then some of the students said, "Did they do something wrong? I thought they hit everybody." It's like, I didn't get told shit, and I did not care. It's about my pay grade. I just got told to send him to the principal's office, but there wasn't any total punishment. Just Nezu wanted to have a word. As Izuku was just like, all right, let's just go. Let's just go there after lunch, Shinso." As Shinso just says, "Sure, whatever, as long as we can get out the way." But he was thinking, does that have to do something? Does that have to do with has to do something with the USJ? He thought. As lunchtime had rolled around, the pair begrudgingly walked over to the principal's office as Nezu ushered them in. "Ah, yes, please sit down. Would you like some tea?" Shinso says, "No, I don't. I don't like tea too much." As he had a slight wince as he just remembered his aunt and her famous oolong tea that she liked to buy. And as Nezu could see, alright, no tea then. How about you, Midoriya? I wouldn't fancy myself a cup of tea. Oh, I'm not British, I do at least I do at least enjoy their customs. Alright. Give me one moment. Um, I don't suppose you two might know why I'm here. Uh, well, why I asked you here. Be honest with me, Principal. Did we do something wrong? No, 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 no. This isn't anything to do with the USJ. As both of them are just quite dumbfounded, then Shinsou finally caught on. That has something to do with that, does it? As Nancy goes, uh, yes, well, I think it does, if that's what you're referring to. As then Dora just goes, what are you two talking about? I have no. Are you gonna keep me in the dark forever? And then Shinsou's like, quiet down. Let him explain. I've gotten a request from a place in London called the Clock Tower. They want to borrow you for the next 2 months. Well, they didn't say borrow, they wanted you to be there for 2 months. Uh, they said you will be staying there until further notice, at least until the sports festival, as they will allow you to go back because you are official students of UA still. Uh, what is the clock tower? The fuck is the clock tower? As Shinso reaches into the lapel of his uniform and goes, "This, I got a letter. Told us to meet them there. Apparently they know something about us. What, did we both kill our daddies? Oh, dearie me, there'll be a lot of people going to that fucking place. I think it has something to do with our genetics. Yes, that's what they've told me, but didn't know it was something special." As Shinso just makes something up, thinking of Alana's quick spot. Oh, from what I've heard, the clock tower has advanced medical facilities, and since we are two rare cases, they want to. I assume they want us to be there to study, or be studied at least. Because as Nezu goes, oh, that does seem the most logical answer. Yeah, as Midori just goes, yeah, yeah. So basically, you want us to go to London or the clock tower, which then you want us to come back after 2 months. Yes. Alright, fuck it. It sounds clear enough to me. As then they were both sent back to class. Shinso and Midori sit down as well. Everybody going, oh, what happened? Did you guys get into trouble? Well, as Midori goes, well, not exactly. Well, unless you count going to London as a bit of trouble, then I guess we are in a bit of trouble. Everybody goes, London? Why are you going to London? Well, you see, for some reason, Shinso and I have the same genetic problem. We both possess a quirk, even though it says, well, even though the genome, something about the genome structure it's off, and we shouldn't have developed one, or should we have even been able to be born in that sense. But we were told to come to the clock tower. It's an advanced medical facility, I think. At least what Shinso said. As every sense, wait, you know the place, Shinso? Yeah, from what I've heard, they're very quite proficient in medical fields. I assume that's why they wanted us. Shinso just thinks, it is loudmouth, isn't he? That fucking bullet didn't miss that day. I would have got him. Now this problem. As he goes, Midori just says, "Oh well, Shinso, looks like we get to be fucking travel buddies." Hope they fucking do. Shut up, Kukalame. I'm not your travel buddy, and this isn't for fun. All right, you grouch. I'm not your friend. Does that bring a frown to your face? And this is where, in this time, I'm going to flip back over the crown.
As Shinzo would just say, "Shut up and get out of my face. I've had enough of you and your loud mouth to last me a lifetime. The last thing I want is us traveling to London together. You're going to use your teleportation, right? I'm not getting on a plane with you. God, that's the last thing I'd want." "Ah, fine. I'll use my bloody teleportation. Just calm your fucking ass down." As Shinzo would just say, "Whatever. Just do me a favor. Leave me alone for the rest of the day. After all, we don't have to head out till tomorrow. So I expect to be left alone. I need to prepare myself for the joys of teleportation." Is that supposed to be a sly comment? No, it's supposed to be meant as sarcasm. Ever heard of it? Now fuck off. As everyone just look at Shinzo as he'd say, "The fuck are all of you guys looking at?" As basically they'd say, "Nothing." Jiro would be giving him a look as Deku would just say, "Look, I know, but..." Well, not Deku, Shinzo. Shit. Shinzo would just say, "Look, I'll talk to you later, okay?" As she would just say, "Okay." And pretty much the school day would end as Deku and Shinzo would exit out. Shinzo would wait for Jiro, as Jiro would say, "So, what did you want to talk to me about?" As Shinzo would say, "Not here. Follow me." As they would leave and head into an alleyway, as Shinzo would tell her, "Look, I'm gonna need you to keep your head down. Don't make a move unless I tell you to. And don't do any type of practice. The only type of practice I want you to do is practice cleaning and taking apart and re-putting together that gun I gave you. Remember, the calico is your only weapon against any type of opponent. Don't lose it and don't let people see you with it. And another thing, try growing out your hair. It'll be less conspicuous for a girl with long hair to be going around places like, I don't know, say places that a punk rocker normally wouldn't, like a jazz club, stuff like that. Stuff where high priority crimes that need to be stopped take place. If a punk rocker is going around to a jazz club, that's going to raise some eyebrows. I need you to grow your hair out." As Jiro would say, "Fine, fine, I'll do it." She says, "But why'd you have to kill Kaminari?" Shinzo would say, "For the good of everyone in there. I had to get to the villain, and the only way to him was through Kaminari. I'm sorry, but it was necessary. But thank you for not ratting me out." As Jiro would say, "Of course, we're partners. You save my life, I save yours. That's how it goes, right?" As Shinzo would smile and say, "Yeah, that's how it goes. Now be a good girl and keep out of trouble while I'm gone. I'll see you in about 2 months, but I'll keep in touch." As Jiro would say, "Whoever told you I was a good girl?" As she would walk off. As Shinzo would say, "Bit of a feisty one, but she'll do." As Shinzo would go to walk out, as he would bump into somebody, as she would say, "Ow," as basically Shinzo would say, "I know you. Aren't you..." As she would say, "Oh, my name's Kendo. It's nice to meet you." Yeah. Kukulame was always going on about how he met a beautiful red-haired woman. Although, he never really would say that much to Cammy. Hmm. As Kendo would be kind of surprised, but he would say, "Well, can I walk you to the station?" We can talk along the way. Cammy would, well, not Cammy, fuck. Kendo would say, yeah, I'd like that. As Shinzo would look around and see Cammy just waiting, he's like, well, Kukulame's gonna get an earful when he gets back. As she's like, huh? As Shinzo says, just keep walking. As Deku would come out of there, as Cammy would say, what took you so long? I've been waiting on you for about 30 minutes. I've watched Shinzo talk to three different people. As basically Deku's like, three? And Cammy's like, I think it was three. He was talking to somebody on an earpiece, I think. As basically Deku would say, oh, the bloody guy's getting more and more popular, ain't he? She's like, okay, what's up with the bloody? He's trying to do an English accent now? As Deku's like, fuck off. It's not English, it's Irish. I'm just getting my words minced. After all, I gotta go to London, so I figured I'd take out some of their slang. Bloody this, bloody that. Everything's all so bloody in London. I hope the streets aren't covered in blood. Never been there. Should be interesting. As Cammy just says, you are so stupid. As Kukulin Deku would just say, well, I do have a rune that can make me smarter, you know. I can get more intelligent anytime I wanted. Cammy's like, you should use it every day. And Deku would say, I'm sorry, but are you in a bit of a mood? As Cammy would say, of course I'm in a mood. As he's just like, oh, what did I do? She said, you kept me waiting. And Deku's just like, fucking hell. So he would just use the calming rune, as it would calm Cammy right down. As Cammy would say, um, what was I mad about again? Deku's like, I don't know. Who knows? Let's just enjoy the day, love. As she's like, more of that British slang you're trying to acquire? Deku's like, you know it. As Shinzo would make it back home, he would go into the house, as he would tell his aunt that he needs to pack. He has to leave for London tomorrow. He's going to a medical facility. They're going to take a look at his genetics. As Makoto would say, not so fast. We need to have a talk. As Shinzo would say, what do we need to talk about? She's like, oh, I don't know. Perhaps the fucking sniper rifle I found in your closet? And Shinzo's just like, fuck. As Makoto would be like, look, I know what you've been up to. All these shootings I've asked you if you've seen, you say no. You're the one doing the shootings, aren't you? Shinzo's like, you got no proof. She says, I have a fucking sniper rifle that has been used. My brother was a cop. I know how to check these things. What happens if you get caught? Shinzo says that he's not going to get caught because no one's ever going to find out. As she says, how do you even know how to use a sniper rifle? Shinzo would say, something he was born with, gifted. As Makoto said, don't you mean more like cursed? Where's your empathy? Where's your emotions? Shinzo would say, wasn't born with any, and any that I've developed have died. I'm not a good person, and I've never once claimed to be. That's a misconception that people have put on me. After all, who else decides who is good or bad? Other people do. It's a preconception placed upon you. Nothing that you do will ever go unnoticed. People will always say, oh, you're such a good person, or oh, you need to be so much better, or you're a monster. Things like that. Society is what determines that. Each individual person, when they come to truly know themselves, they know if they are good or bad. And me, I'm as bad as they come, yet I'll still be the best hero of justice that there could ever be. And why? Because justice can only be fully administered by a monster that justice uses to kill other monsters. That is what I fully believe, that it is necessary to sacrifice some lives to save others. The lives of the minority cannot be held to the same caliber or worth as the majority, as people who are in one group and people that are in another. For instance, say there's a small car that holds a family of 4, and there's a bus that holds about 60 people. You can only save one by destroying the other. Which one would you choose? The one with the one family or the one with the 60 people? You have to make a split decision. You can't think too hard or too long, or both may die. You'd kill the one that only has the 4 to save the 60, regardless of if they were criminals, if they were, good people, their skin color, their beliefs, their style. It wouldn't matter because you would have saved the majority of the people, not the minority. Even if it was someone you loved, if it was only that one person against the lives of hundreds, thousands, even millions of people, what would you do for the good of the world? His aunt would say, I'd find a way to save both. And Shinzo would say, it's a lot quicker and effective. And plus, you don't end up losing everything if you would just kill the one person you loved to save those millions of others. After all, coming up with ways to try and save both people, you give up all hope of saving anyone, because what you're fighting for is no longer people, but an ideal. And ideals can never save anyone. He would say to his aunt that, look past this and let's go. As she would just say, go where? Shinzo says, to his room. As Makoto would follow Shinzo up there to his room, as he would reveal all his other weapons, his blades, his guns, his ammo, his grenades, his flash bombs, everything. As she would say, what are you preparing for? War? Shinzo says, no. I'm preparing for every possible outcome. I think about things tactically. And these bullets, they're special. These bullets return the human's DNA back to its origin. It's original. No quirks, no powers, nothing. It's very powerful and very difficult to make. I only have about 58 left. After all, I did use 2. As she would say, really? What are you showing me this for? As Shinzo would say, so that way there's no secrets. No more of this, oh, what's wrong with you? I found this in your room. None of that. You know my heart. You know everything I have. So, what are you going to do about it? After all, I know you help your vigilante friends. So, you're going to really turn in your own nephew? As Makoto would put her head down and say, no, I won't turn you in. I love you too much. You just need to understand that you can at least try to save everyone. And Shinzo would just turn his back to her and say, I'm sorry, but I'm long past trying to save everyone. Some lives can't be saved. As Makoto would go down and cry, as Shinzo would pack his things and get ready for his trip to London. And that's where I'm going to switch it back over to Underworld.
Alright. The next day arrives, and, well, the the pair of men decide to meet up at a local restaurant. And after about 20 minutes of waiting for, well, Deku, he finally arrives. Boy, I told you to meet at 7 o'clock. And I didn't mean fucking 7:30 now, did I? Jeez, calm your tits, mate. I... Ugh. Sorry. I was a bit busy last night. With what? It's some things are best left for another time. Maybe I might tell you when we're in London, away from people. A few too many of the girls around here know me a bit too well. And, as he just says, of fucking course they do. Alright. I'm gonna look past this fuck up just once. I don't like being late. I like to keep things efficient, clean, sleek. And you're just a fucking wrench in that plan, aren't you? Hey, be careful. This fucking wrench in your plans is your whole entire fucking plan to get to London. So I'd best be nice to it. Fuck off. I already told you that they wanted both of us. You don't exactly have a choice now, do you? Fucking Kukulane. Boy, you fucking... If it wasn't for the fact I had to fucking take you there, I'd beat the shit out of you right now. Try as you might like. I'd kick your ass in next week. Ugh, you fucking grind my gears so badly. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Shut up and stand still. You got everything you need, you're fucking shot in. Yeah, have you got all your fucking annoying girlfriends along with you? Oh, that's right, you don't have one. Yes. Oh, getting witty now, are we? Alright. Hopefully you can keep that after. Hopefully you can keep that and your breakfast. As Shinsou goes, wait, what do you mean? As they teleport all the way to Trafalgar Square, is as they Kurtsugu drops down to his knees. Fucking fuck was that? Welcome to Trafalgar Square, the heart of London. Well, and we have. Oh, look at that pretty lady. Explain to me where I am now. Oh yes, right. Yeah, sorry. What you felt before was me warping space and time. So that's what that weird feeling was. Trust me, first time I did on Bakugo, he'd been chucking up for weeks. Well, not exactly, but that's what it looked like after 5 minutes. Oh, I'm so sad I didn't have fucking a camera on me that day. Decided to leave it at home. Get to the point. Right. Alright. They gave the address, didn't they? Yeah, so they're meant to go meet up at the Tower of London. Alright. What time did it say? 9 o'clock. Well, if you factor in time zones, 9 o'clock, we got about roughly an hour and a half. So I think we can mosey on around a little bit. Do you even know where it is, you idiot? Of course I do. I fucking love London. I love the whole of the UK. Especially Ireland. Don't know why. Something just resonates with me there. Anyway, getting a bit off topic. I want to get something to eat. I need it to fucking keep your fucking breakfast down. Let's go have dinner. But we just ate breakfast. Yeah, we're on the other side of the world, so dinner time. As Shinsei actually takes a proper bearing of his grounds and looks at his watch. It says 7 a.m. But he looks at his phone and it says 7:30 p.m. Oh shit. Well, I forgot he can do that. Well, fine. I need something to keep that fucking strange sensation out of me. There we go, we're in agreement for once. I'm not agreeing with you, I'm just fucking taking the logical choice. Yeah, whatever, smart ass. As after they mosey on around a bit, and after good old Kuka Lane decided to go flirting around a bit with the natural cuisine, as he called them. He decided they teleported their way over to the Tower of London. As they were walking up to the entrance, they were greeted by two people. A man in a red overcoat, long black hair, and a very weirdly dressed, tanned man with white hair and what seemed to be red cloth wrapped around his waist and arms, as well as a black lycra suit underneath, is what he thought. Good evening, gentlemen. The last to escort you, my name's Lord Elmaloy II. And this specimen here, as you'll call him, just prefers to be called Archer. So follow me, and I'll tell you why you're here. As well, see, as they both lock eyes, Izuku and the man with the white hair just start having a stare down at each other. As Lord Elmaloy just goes, "Oi, I know too you have a history, but not now." As then Deku just says, "I have no idea who the hell this prick is, but I don't like when people stare at me." You're always a loudmouth, no matter what generation. Fucking say that again. And it's been a long time, agreed Sugu. As he was looking at Shinsou, and for some reason that name seemed to trigger a reaction, but he didn't know why. Alright, follow us. We'll have a way of your exact history of what you two are. So you're gonna tell us why we have a genetic problem? As Shinsou just looks, "No, you fucking idiot. There's a cover story. Nezu didn't actually know why. I discovered, well, I'm sure you would have clued in by now that what you have isn't natural." Well, yeah, I did think about that a little bit. Oh, it never really bothered me. Yeah, well, it bothered me. I wanted to know what the hell the fucking powers that we hold were, as I couldn't detect it. For some reason, our genetics were fucked. That's where I could put it. So, I said that we need to come to the clock tower for testing, but we're not here for that, as I'm sure he will tell you. Yeah, yes, just go on, follow me. We don't have much time. Well, we do, but I didn't like wasting it, and I'm sure he doesn't either, as he looks at Shinsou. As Shinsou nods, it's like, alright. So first, before I explain exactly why you're here, I must tell you a bit of a story. There is such thing called there are Maguses around the world, and each Magus has his goal is to try and find the root. That conquest has led to several events in magic discoveries, and therefore one discovery was made of the Holy Grail. as well, Deku just quips up and's like, Holy Grail? What are we supposed to do? Fucking take a swig out of that cup? As he goes, the Holy Grail is a magical item. It was conducted in Japan in, well, a city in Fuyuki. However, the Holy Grail seemed to have had a disturbance 16 years ago now. We don't know why it went out of haywire, but we eventually found out after further investigation, the clock tower. The man referred to as All for One was tampering with, who was a rogue agent that used to work at the clock tower. He decided to go rogue and managed to steal the vessel of the Holy Grail. He conducted experiments. These experiments were meant to try and find ultimate power. However, due to tampering with the Grail, it rejected him, took his magic away. But hold on, slow down. Magic? Holy Grail? Are you supposed to tell me wizards exist? Yes, for someone who's using magic and basically a sorcerer already, you don't seem to be very quick now, do you? Shinsou says, "Tell me about it." It's like, boy, you bust out of this. You're telling me what me and Shinsou have, our quirks, are magic. Yeah, you idiot. The thing that they found inside my body, they're called spirit circuits. Well, not really, they're called magic circuits. Spirit circuits is what they used to be called. I was informed about them. Well, that's what the classification was given. They allow mana to pass through my body, enhance my strength slightly, and be able to, well, perform my acceleration. That quirk people thought I had was magic. It's very same for you, however, Waver just says, it's very same for the both of you, except you two differ slightly. One was summoned. You two are what we classify as lesser heroic spirits. They're inhabiting a human body, yet you guys have the memories and powers of heroic spirits. As they reach the headmaster's office, and this is why you are summoned here, because you two should not exist. However, thanks to the tampering, you guys have been given temporary miracles. You're reborn into newborns' bodies. You took their shape. You took their vessel, and now you've taken over their conscious and have their power. Now you have your powers. Okay, I get it now. But what are heroic spirits exactly? Well, due to the Holy Grail being a overflowing source of mana, we have a reason to believe that, well, it has its own conscious. Now, there's something called the Throne of Heroes. From what we have observed over the many years of the Holy Grail ritual conducting, historical figures throughout time and history have been summoned through the shaping of a temporary miracle. This is what allows them to take form and fight, and once the defeat of 7 of the servants has commenced, well, 6 of the 7 servants has been defeated, the winner shall be able to claim their prize, a wish. And you, as he points out, you were summoned by that grail after being tampered with. You are meant to be the heroic spirit Ku Kulane. However, your thanks to the tampering, your body didn't manifest quite properly, and only half your structure was implemented. You've had a connection to mana through your secondary spirit, as the first one was not able to project himself through, and the byproduct of this the failure resulted in you being summoned, Shinsou. You're meant to take the place of a man who inundated into the Throne of Hero by force, called Pt.3 Ft. He was a man that I knew personally. In fact, I was a part of the Holy Grail War with him. We share many of your personality traits. I didn't know him very well, but I know just one thing. He sacrificed everything, anything and anything to achieve his goals. And after El Malloy had stated the story, the white-haired man stepped in and says, and I was summoned in accordance to you two being brought into the physical world. As they both just go look at him and say, and they say it at almost the exact same time. So you're the same as us? And well, not quite. I'm not a heroic spirit. I'm what you call a counter guardian. I do not have a name. I forgot it a long time ago. This was a lie. As my job is to restore balance to the mana, to the world. I serve humanity's. I serve the will of humanity. The tampering of the Grail was considered a threat too vast, and after it tried to correct its own timeline by summoning you two, as you two were put into a physical body, you managed to restore the Grail to a stable state, but it stopped me from being unsummoned. I was never able to return. For some reason, it has something to do with you two. Counter Guardians exist to restore balance, and with you two existing, I am now here. And I know the both of you personally. As they both look at him. How do you know us exactly? Well, let's just say Kuritsugu Emiya was someone very close to me, and I adopted his ideals, and it led to me being brought into the Counter Guardians. I sacrificed everything to save 100 people, so I gave up my humanity, and this is where it got me. And then Deku just says, "And how the fuck do you know me, you whitehead prick?" I know you because you were a pain in my ass. You caused me much trouble. Along with that boy, as somebody goes running past and knocks into Archer, as he drops his books and picks them back up. Sorry, as a redhead boy continues running down the hallway. I'm gonna be late to my class. As Archer turns to look and just has a shocked expression on his face and is like, "Calm, keep it calm." Because of you two, I was summoned. Therefore, we're going to observe you and train you to not cause a fuck up in the timeline. This is where I'm going to flip it back to Crown.
So what you mean is, by a correction in the timeline, if we were to die, would the timeline correct itself? As the white-haired man would say, No, sadly enough, it wouldn't, or else I would have already killed both of you. But, time being what it is, there's only one for sure way that could correct the timeline, and that is for both of you to become heroic spirits. But you have not yet met the requirements. Well, one of you hasn't met the requirements yet to become a heroic spirit. As he would look directly at Shinzo, saying, "You, however, have filled the requirement perfectly. After all, you have already taken steps, leaps and bounds, into following in the footsteps of Kiritsugu Emiya, your previous life." As Shinzo would say, "You know everything I've done, don't you?" He would say, "Yes, I do. And I already know your future. Your ideals will lead to your death, as you be there, soaked in your own blood, holding up the person that you've loved most. After they've died, you'll be surrounded. There'll be nowhere for you to escape to. Your death will be imminent, but you will not go down without a fight. You will fight to your last breath, collapse in the pouring rain, and die, as several weapons will be stabbed into you, and the finishing blow will be a shot to the head, and you'll lay there, dead, blood pouring out, in some back alley, like a dog." As Shinzo would say, "How many people will I have saved?" As the man would say, "Too many to count. You will have achieved your goal of being a hero of justice, yet society will brand you as evil. They will follow through with their extermination of you, and there will be no more Hitoshi Shinzo. Instead, you will become a heroic spirit and serve in the Hall of Heroes." As that's when Deku says, "If he's as bad as that, then who's to say the Hall of Heroes will accept him after all? It's heroes, not killers." As the man would say, "Well, for one, Jack the Ripper is also a heroic spirit, but they have not done anything heroic. But they have met all the requirements to be in there. After all, Jekyll and Hyde, William Shakespeare, they are all heroic spirits." As Deku would say, "What the hell?" As Shinzo would say, "If that's my fate, then I'll accept it." As the man would say, "Knowing you, of course you would. Just call me Archer from here on out. After all, that is the class I'm assigned." As Deku would say, "Archer, you don't seem kinda like the archery type. I haven't even seen you carry a bow. And that outfit? Where's your hood? You're no archer." As Shinzo would say, "He doesn't need a hood to be an archer. If he's a heroic spirit or counter guardian, then he could just magically manifest his weapons. He doesn't have to keep them on him at all times. Kind of like that staff of yours." As Deku said, "Good point." As Shinzo would say, "So, what are we here for?" As Archer would say, "Well, you two are going to be trained. We can't have you go and die before you fill the requirements to become heroic spirits. So, until then, we're going to train you and give you the best abilities possible. It'll take 2 months before that damn sports festival of yours happens, so we got 2 months and not a second more. Actually, we're running low on time. We'll be a day behind at this rate, because of time zone differences. Why couldn't you guys have come yesterday?" Damn. For tonight, we'll show you to your rooms and you'll sleep. Then tomorrow, at 5 a.m. sharp, your training begins. Don't be late, or else things will happen that you will not like. Oh, and one more thing. Your training for the next 2 months will be completely separate of each other. Besides sharing one room, you two could be completely isolated from each other. That way, there's no hint of one person's style bleeding into another, because we're wanting to keep you in the classes you're currently residing in. Being for you, Hitoshi Shinzo, would be the assassin class. As for you, Izuku Midoriya, you would be of the caster class. So if anything, you should be the one most suited to understanding magic. And yet here you are, a brazen idiot. How ironic. Anyway, follow me. I'll show you to your rooms. As the two would follow Archer, as he would show them to the room, as they would enter the room, as Shinzo would say, okay, the bed over there, by the window, that's mine. As he would put his luggage down and would just start to undress, as Deku would say, oh, seeing a guy undress in front of me. Not something I ever wanted to see, especially you. Ugh. I'm lucky this bitch has 2 beds. Ugh, I wouldn't even share a bed with you. I'd sleep on the cold, hard floor. Ugh. As basically Deku puts his luggage aside as he gets into his bed. As Shinzo asks, why don't you just teleport home and then teleport back here? As Shinzo would just be staring and waiting for an answer, as Deku would say, for one, time zone differences. For two, I don't know what they'd do to me if I tried that. As for the third reason, it's a waste of bloody fucking magic, apparently. I thought I just got really tired, but no, apparently my magic was being drained with every attack. God, this is so fucking weird. As Deku would just be breaking down a little bit inside mentally. Shinzo would say, stop being a bitch and go to sleep. As he would get into the bed and pass out. Deku wouldn't be that far behind. As the next day came, as Shinzo was up at 4:30 in the morning. While Deku was still sleeping, Shinzo would clean his guns. He would check his ammo. He would clean his blades as well. As he would say, you're lucky we're at the watchtower, Midoriya, or else I'd kill you in your sleep. As he would put up all his gear, put on his clothes, and would walk out the door to get breakfast. Because Shinzo says that 5 a.m. sharp is training. And let's see. They said that would be immediately, meaning breakfast is something that we have to get before. So, Shinzo would go, he would get breakfast from the cafeteria, as he would just sit down and eat, as he would see it's about 4:50. He's like, all right then. As he would immediately just finish up, put the dishes up, and would head up to the training grounds, where he would meet the chairman. Now, the chairman would say, welcome, Hitoshi Shinzo. There's matters I'd want to discuss with you before your training. After all, this would be a slight inconvenience for us if we didn't have this talk privately, but knowing you, I'm sure we could come to an understanding of the matter. As Shinzo would say, all right, I'm listening. As the man would sit down and say, very good. Very good. Sit down. Now, I would like to offer you this job. As Shinzo would say, what job? What exactly are we going to be talking about? As pretty much the man would say, well, for this, I need your full cooperation and your word that after hearing this, you will agree to it. As Shinzo would just say, I'm not going to agree to anything before you tell me what it is. But I will give you my word, I will not tell anyone else about it. As the man would say, very well then. All right. I would like for you to become an assassin for us. As you well know that you could potentially go to other places, become a hero, all the way up to your, you know, late 40s, right? As basically, Shinzo would say, unfortunately, being a hero is a limited time thing. When you grow up, it becomes harder to call yourself one. I wish it hadn't taken me so long to realize that, though. As the man would say, what do you mean by wait so long? As basically, Shinzo would say, I don't know where that came from. As he says, it's just like whenever someone brings up the idea of me being a hero, one of the things that immediately comes to my mind, I have an impulse to save it. As he would say, well, that's very righteous of you. But what are you going to do with that righteousness? As Shinzo would say, righteousness? I don't see any of that in myself. After all, righteousness cannot save the world. So I don't think I'm anywhere near righteous. Because if it's so, then what is righteousness? I don't get where you would even call me righteous in the first place. As the man would say, I'm testing you. I'm wanting to see how much of Kiritsugu's in there. Tell me, what do you think of justice? Justice is something that monsters have to be. Because, for one, justice by itself cannot save the world. It's useless without its monsters. Monsters kill monsters. That's all there is to it. But me, I'll gladly accept being called a monster if that means I can save as many people as I can. As the man would say, so, how about taking on this job? I want you to hunt down and kill, all for one. As Deku would say, very well then, I'll do just that. After all, if he's the person responsible for all this, well, it's something I'd have to do eventually. So fine. I'll hunt down your rogue member, and I'll kill him. But you better pay handsomely. I'm an assassin. I need money. As pretty much, I mean, say, consider it done. Now, as for your training, there's someone here who I'd want you to meet. Come on in, Kire. As Shinzo would look as an older man, somehow in his late 40s, would come in and say, hello, my name is Kire Kotomine. I will be your instructor, reincarnation of Kiritsugu. My, how it's been so long. You ended up dying before me, but you were my greatest opponent. I can't wait to see how much of Kiritsugu you have in you, boy. as Shinzo would be fighting, as he would be close to hand combat with Kiritsugu, but when it comes to weapons training, Kiritsugu's past life would have a huge leap over Shinzo. Now, Kirei would actually help him close the gap, as he would also show Shinzo how to use a new style of weaponry, the Black Keys. When inserting magic into them, blades come out, as it's something that can be thrown or used in hand-to-hand combat. But his Time Alter Triple XL would be way more efficient and fluent, as that wouldn't be the only thing that he would get better at. He would use Time Alter Square XL, and it would actually drain him for a good majority of the first month, but by the time in the second month, he would have mastered it as well. His Time Alter Triple Stagnant would be very useful for him. After all, he can't always rely on guns, so he would get a better grasp on hand-to-hand combat using the Black Keys, as he would also really get a fuck ton of satisfaction after beating Kirei. He didn't know why, but he just chalked it up to it being a Kiritsugu thing. And Shinzo had completely accepted the fact that he is Kiritsugu's reincarnation, as he's just like, "Hmm, if I'm going to be a reincarnation, might as well accept it and move on." As he realizes that time's getting closer and closer to them to go back. Pretty much the day after tomorrow is when they'll be heading back. So, Shinzo would head on out as there'd be someone there waiting for him. "Hey, Shinzo." He would say, "Hey, Archer." As basically Archer would say, "Let's talk. After all, we have a lot to go over." As Shinzo would say, "Fine by me." "So, do you remember everything of your past life? They should be coming to you in dreams, like memories from a far distant past." As Shinzo would say, "Yeah, I've remembered pretty much everything, including who you are. Shiro Emiya, my son." Man, it's so weird. But you've lived a long life, haven't you? As Emiya would shake his head and say, "No, I haven't. I died at a really young age. After all, your ideals, it drove me to it. Sadly, I found out that by chasing down ideals, you cannot save yourself nor anyone else. Salvation is a lie. Spent a lot of time trying to change that. But reality set in. I couldn't change it. I have to accept this now and live forward. But there's hope for you. How would you like to become a hero of justice one more time and truly be able to mean it, to do things, not as a heroic spirit, but as a counter guardian? Just leave the Hall of Heroes and come be a counter guardian. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't upset the balance. Actually, I'm certain. So come with me and let's become counter guardians." As Shinzo would say, "At the time of my death, have your master come to me, and I shall accept its offer to become a counter guardian." As Emi would say, "It doesn't work like that, damn it. You accept the offer ahead of time, and when you die, that is when you become the counter guardian." As Shinzo would say, "Then bring it to me. I'll accept its offer now." As the Guardian would come forth as it would offer Shinsou the position of a counter Guardian, as Shinzo would agree to it and ask, "What about Deku?" As Emiya would say, "No, he cannot. He doesn't have the qualifications to be a counter Guardian. He doesn't have the same drive as us. He's destined to be a heroic spirit, nothing less and nothing more. That's all there is to it." As Shinzo would say, "Very well." As Emiya would see that he's starting to disappear, he would say, "Looks like my time's finally up. I'll be returning back to where I was. That means the Ibis has chosen you to be its ultimate counter guardian for this timeline. It's trusting you to put things into its proper order. So, until then, I'll see you again later. Bye, Kiritsugu Emiya." As Shinzo would say, "Goodbye, Shiro Emiya." As Archer would fade, as Shinzo would go down and get some sleep. And basically, I'm gonna kick this back over to Underworld. He's gonna say what Deku was up to from the moment that he overslept for training all the way up through the 2 months. So, Underworld, all the way back to you, man.
Thanks, man. Alright. So we kick back to, well, Doria's perspective, as he wakes up and looks at the time and just sees 6 o'clock. Oh, shit! As he's running out towards the field where he was ordered to go to meet his instructor. As he arrives at the field and says, "Sorry I'm late, sir." After taking a look, he sees that it's not a man in a suit. It's in fact a woman with short purple hair. Ah, so we got another one, don't we? Fucking straggler that'd waste my time. Ooh, well, I didn't know my instructor was gonna be so pretty. Please, mind my absence. I was just, I overslept a bit. You know, first day jitters and everything. As she walks up to him and says, "That's alright. That's alright." She punches him in the gut and sends him flying into a wall. "First day jitters and all. I'll go easy on you then." And she starts launching a barrage of punches at him. As Midoriya's going, what the hell is wrong with you, lass? I overslept like, what, an hour? Like, I'm sorry. As, sorry doesn't cut it here, kiddo. You're gonna face a beating whether you like it or not. And I have some pent-up anger at being called to handle fucking piss ants like you. And as then, well, the woman starts just like raising her fists and starts flying towards him. As Izuku like summons his staff and's like, "I don't like hurting women, but I have to stop you somehow from going on a rampage." As then he starts casting a few runes as the woman punches right through them. It's like, "The fuck did you do?" Funny thing is, runes can be destroyed by runes, and my hands are enhanced by them. Didn't expect that, you lazy bastard, did ya? As she punched him square in the face, sending him into a tree. Trying to fucking kill me! I ain't trying to kill ya, laddie. I'm trying to teach you a lesson. Don't fuck with me. My name's Bizette. Don't you fucking forget it. I won't, trust me. Between that pretty face and that foul mouth of yours, I couldn't tell which one's worse. The fact that I'm attracted by it, or the fact that I'm attracted by your tongue as well. She just says, "Oh, you made a fucking mistake," as she picks him up by the collar and throws him into the building, crashing through one of the windows and as well. Izuku's just passed out. When she goes and looks after him, she jumped up into the window and then kicks him. Was like, "Hey, wake up! I didn't kill you. Wake up!" And then she slaps him awake. He's like, "Ah, so you didn't kill me, but you came to finish the job. Like I said, I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to train you and discipline you. I've been told by a certain archer of sorts that you lack discipline. I'm here to beat it into you." Ah, that man. Why does he always? Why is he such a pain in my arse? I don't even know the guy. Oh, you don't have to know him for him to understand your fucking personality. And in fact, he does know you. You just don't know him. Well, I'll beat the knowledge out of you. Well, as I've been told, I'm gonna have a bit of fun with this one. As you can tell by the look of my gloves, I specialize in rune magic. The thing that you seem to specialize in, I have failed to realize the weaknesses and strengths. You have raw natural talent, but a shitty motivation. As over the next few days, um, Midoriya, spryly woke up early and saw Shinsou past them as he ran past him. Was like, "What the fuck is he doing?" Oh well. And she's like, "I don't want to make her angry again. I'm gonna get fucking punched through the window." The annoying part is, it doesn't hurt. It's just fucking annoying having to pick the glass out of my hair. Every fucking Tuesday. As then, well, Izuku arrives down in the courtyard again. 1 minute late. You can't seem to fucking learn, can ya? Please, please, Bazette, it was just 1 minute. Master Bazette, you fucking sod off. And she punches him up into the chin. And but however, this time as he's being flung into the air, he manages to cast a rune onto her. He's like, "How'd you like that one?" As it was a binding rune to keep it from moving. "I see, you're getting faster." But not fast enough. As the binding breaks, as he says, "How?" Left left yourself wide open. I could tell from a mile away that you wanted to try and restrain me. Well, he used one of these. As she pulls out a little ball that she had in her hand with a small rune on it. Opening. See, this one people think is very useless. However, you just need to be smart enough to use it. Just because you might be able to open doors with it doesn't mean you can't open up spell binds. As then she flies at him with a kick and sends him flying into a wall again. Shit, fucking hurts. You better learn the feeling of pain. It's gonna keep coming at you. Not until you learn to be fucking on time. I understand, it was just a mistake. You made that mistake 3 times in a row this week. You have some balls, or you're just that fucking stupid. I think that you're Kukulame. Oh, that's what they call you over there, don't they? But Kukulame. I think that Ireland's child of light. is such a piss poor excuse of a hero as you. I don't know how the fuck they managed to win all their wars and how you managed to become such an honoured figure. Makes me sick of being Irish. As then she starts trying to pummeling him with well, with flurries of kicks again as he makes a barrier in time and starts writing more runes. As the barrier starts setting on fire and starts dispersing outwards. Can't punch me if you can't get close to me, can ya? As then the barrier shatters. Like I've said, you get better at timing. And she shatters through the barrier with her fists, and like, oh fuck me. As bam, clocked right in the chin, it sent right into a wall as he just left inside the wall. That it was that far indented inside of it. As students walk past him, and it's like, getting your ass whooped again, well, Midoriya. I keep calling you Ku for some reason. The redhead boy walked past and was like, as he was saying it. Yep. As he forced himself out the wall and says, "Alright, my turn." As then he starts sending runes of fire and wind blasting at the Zet. You're getting faster, that's for sure. But but you need to be even faster if you want to beat me. Because over the next few months, oh sorry, over the next month, um, Izuku's reaction time has been getting steadily better and better. He's picking up a way to reinforce his defense against physical attacks, which he seemed to be very bad at dealing with, as he was knocked flat on his ass by Shinsou many times, more times than he could count without realizing, as that was one of the key weaknesses of a caster. He managed to close the gap while not breaking his class's parameters. As he was using reinforcement magic, he learned how he can reinforce his body to make himself faster and be able to have a faster reaction time. Being able to keep up with a demon like Bazette certainly gave him the strength and knowledge that only it felt like 100 years worth of battles could. And he steadily had discipline shook right into him, even becoming respectful. Okay, master. Oh, you're here half an hour early. Well, should be expected of you. Yeah, I just wanted to get a few practices with the new runes you taught me the other week. I see you've been diligent for once. Who knows, maybe I might reward you with a kiss on the cheek one of these days. As then, it goes, you don't say. Wow, I didn't think you'd go for a woman in her 30s. Well, I say woman age like fine wine. They only get better. Now, there's one thing that the legends have said. You've got a golden tongue. As, as then he just starts laughing. I guess I do. Well, I start remembering what it was like, and it's quite shit to be honest. The guy can't stop laughing at me. What do you mean, can't stop laughing at you? You're talking about Shinso? Oh no, he's not the problem. It's the other guy in my dreams. What, did your daddy come fucking tell you you're a joke? No, it was me. I was laughing at myself. I would be too, but please, go on. Well, the other one was holding a red spear called the Gay Bolg. He says, man, I hate to be in your shoes right now. Man, seeing me with a spear is weird. I don't like the look of it. You think you can really do better with it with a cane? What are you gonna do? Whack him on the head? As he just starts laughing. Well, It was me, but he is a lancer. And he told me that, well, he taught me a lot of the spells that I had learned throughout while training under his master. Taught me some spells as well as he starts writing an incantation of runes, as he just says, Anos, Porshon, Palmon, as as the small circle starts expanding and it forms around them, as for some reason a magical glow starts developing in the area, and the same portal from the USJ appeared, except it was complete. This is the last thing I got left by my master besides the Gaebolg. A technique this it's able to bring back the dead. Well, not exactly bring them back, but I'm able to communicate with the dead. And even transport myself through the land of the living. By using the gate, I'm able to contact spirits, ask for advice, information, and even lend me some of their power when I'm weak. And some can be used as familiars. Who knew some boy's wet dream can fucking teach him how to use magic? Then he goes, "Ah, I told you, it's not a wet dream. I'm just kidding with you, laddie," as she hits him on the head. Don't take it too seriously. Now, let's not slack off. It's time to get back to training and getting your ass beat. Hey, don't underestimate me too much. You didn't hit me once last time. Because last time I was only using one hand, you fucking idiot. But it still counts. Saying that, you're gonna get both arms. Oh shit, as he gets punched in the face. No, I really deserve that, but I don't want to admit it. I just did. I wonder why I punched you in the face. As at the end of the 2 months, um, Zet was quite impressed by his determination when he's actually been given a goal to work towards. Being told that he is now having to become a heroic spirit to return the timeline to its former state. He then goes up um and starts greeting off. Well, thank you for teaching me. I know it was a bit of a hard ass and a flirt. Yeah, don't worry about it too much. Yeah, it was fun. Well, as fun as it could be punching a 16-year-old through a building as can be. Yeah, I can imagine that'd be fun for you. Here, take this. As she kisses him on the cheek and then goes says, "Oh, did I get little Papa wound up? The little hound of Ireland going and getting excited as he starts going, No, no, don't do that to me. I told you not to. Well, I told you if you did good, you'd get a kiss on the cheek. And I think you did pretty good." Then she says to him, "Alright, I gotta be serious now. Become my hero. Not just one that saves people for money or fame. Become a true hero. Mm, I never told you this, but the reason why I was so hard on you is because I met you once. Once and only once. I was young then, but your reincarnation had saved me. I was about to, well, I didn't know he saved me at the time. I saw him, and I held admiration for the man that was so brave and strong and respectful. That's why I had to. That's why I couldn't let someone like you walk all over his name. I, I see. Well, thank you, Bizette. No, master. As and they then he goes up to Shinsou and says, well, he goes and finds Shinsou and is like, already? No, for once you're not being loud, Kukulame. Yeah, for once. Come on, let's go back to Japan. I'm sure it'll be nighttime over there by now, so yeah, let's get going now. As well, weeks ago, well, I should say, Shinsou was almost shocked that over this time, a little time after speaking with him, after the 2 months of training he's had with Bizet, he was seemed to be respectful and less loud. He still spoke in his same mannerisms as usual, well, as normal as he usually does, but he seemed to be more more strict with his words and less loud. It was almost, well, jarring. And okay. Remember, don't chuck your guts and don't want to clean my shoes. Yeah, whatever. Come on, let's just go. As then they teleport back they teleport back to UA. Alright, it's the only place I could think of besides my house, and you said you live far away from me, so I thought it'd be better for the middle ground. Alright. It's the only time I'm gonna thank you for just about anything. Thanks for the lift. As as then Midoriya says, wait, hold on. What is it? Something happened, didn't it? What? What exactly do you mean by what happened? You seem different, almost more content. Did you realize something while you're being trained? Not exactly. I just saw where my life was going to be headed. And I was neither excited nor disappointed with what it was. It was true, in a sense. Oh, you speak your riddles forevermore, I see. Oh, whatever. Good night, you lucky bastard. As he goes, there he is. As they both part ways and return home. As well, Midoriya's mother gives him a big hug after 2 months of spending. Well, he popped in occasionally, but this is the first time he got since he was back, and she gave him a big hug. And then on the day after they had gotten back, which happened to be on a Friday. Well, which happened to be on a Saturday actually. They returned home on the Friday night, but he decided to call out. Decided to call Cammy, and this is where I'm going to flip it back. This is where I'm going to flip it back to you, Crown.
So basically, when Shinzo returns home, he walks through the door as Makoto is overjoyed to see her nephew, as she hugs him and says, "It's been a long time. You didn't even send me a letter." As Shinzo would say, "Sorry, but for the first time in my life, I have a clear direction. I have a clear motive." As she would say, "Tell me about it." As he would just say, "Sorry, if I told you, you wouldn't like the outcome. Knowing how I'm going to die, it's given me a freedom I've never known before. And I know what awaits me after death. A existence of saving countless people, more and more than I could ever have hoped to save in this life. I don't deserve to be able to rest. I want to keep saving people more and more. For the first time in my life, I'm happy to be able to become a hero of justice. And I know what my name will become. As she says, "What do you mean?" As Shinzo says, "I had my name legally changed while I was in London. The paperwork's been filed. My name from now on is Kiritsugu Shinzo." As she would say, "Why Kiritsugu?" As he says, "It's just something that sticks with me. That's all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go to sleep. I got school in the morning." As she says, "Don't forget, tomorrow's the sports festival. Are you sure you're gonna be okay for that?" Shinzo says, "Yeah, it'll be fine." As he goes to his room and unpacks, he cleans his guns as he's working out with some dumbbells. He decides to call up Jiro. As Jiro answers the phone on the first ring, saying, "You're finally back?" As he would say, "Yeah, sorry." As he puts her onto his headphone, as it's a Bluetooth device, so he has it in his ear while he's working out. As she says, "So, how is London?" And Shinzo would say, "It's great. It's everything I could have hoped for." As she says, "Excellent. Well, I'll see you tomorrow." Shinzo says, "See you tomorrow." As he finishes with the dumbbells, he goes for pull ups. He does Hindu squats, sit ups, and push ups. To finish it off, he does a handstand for 10 minutes and then goes to sleep after he showers. The next day comes as his walk into school as he sees Deku teleport right in front of him as he could sense it as he says, "Oh, look at you, Ku Cullen." As Deku stops for a minute, he's like, "Did you just..." As he says, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be calling you Ku Cullen anymore, but I told Cammy not to stop it, just so that way it doesn't die out. But you've earned my respect enough to call you by your actual name, Ku Cullen, Ireland's Child of Light." As he would say, "Oh, by the way, call me Kiritsugu from now on. After all, it's my legal first name now." And Deku's just like, "Since when?" As he would say, "Since London. Now, are you gonna come or just stand there gawking?" As Deku says, "Don't you go start calling me Ku Cullen every time. I know I'm his reincarnation, but at the same time, I have my own identity. Unlike you wanting to give up yours and just fully become who you were in the past." As Shinzo stops and says, "I'm not becoming who I was in the past. I know his mistakes and I'll avoid them." As Deku says, "And about your death? I heard it. After all, he said it while we were both in the room. You know damn good and well what's gonna happen to you at the end of this journey, and you're not even trying to avoid it." As Shinzo just looks at him, he smiles while grabbing his hand and says, "Of course not, because I know what lies on the other end of that death. An existence full of times where I can save people. And besides, if I die and you still need my help, well, you know there's a way to bring me right back, don't you?" As he would walk away from Deku. Now, Shinzo would go as Aizawa would tell him that he needs to report to Nezu for debriefing and to be notified that if he can or cannot participate in the sports festival. As Shinzo and Deku go to Nezu's office, Nezu says, "So, how was it?" As Shinzo says, "It was fine. We're given a full bill of health. No need to worry. In fact, we're even stronger than when we left. So, how's that? An extra little bonus, right?" As Nezu says, "Very well, I shall allow you both to participate in the sports festival. Go get changed into your gym clothes." As Deku would leave, Shinzo would say, "Yeah, about that. I want a new hero outfit made for me." As he would slide him the details on the new outfit that Shinzo will be wearing. As Nezu says, "It'll take a lot of time to get this ready. Honestly, it won't be ready by the time your internship comes around, but I'll have it ready after that." As basically, Shinzo says that's fine. As he leaves, as Nezu's just like, first he wanted a bulletproof suit and a fireproof vest, and now he wants armor of all things with a red scarf. This boy's taste is out of this world. Oh well, heroes are known to be eccentric, I guess. But this looks more like something an assassin would wear. Oh well, I'll accept it. As Nezu would push it through to get accepted. As Shinzo's in the locker room, as he's getting changed, as he's like, "Ah, this should be fun." As he's listening to Aizawa tell Deku he cannot bring the staff. He has to just bring his body and that's it, meaning he cannot carry the runes with him either. He just has to use his normal abilities. Nothing that has to be, considered a support item since he's in the hero course. As Shinzo just walks right past Aizawa, as Aizawa says, "Hold it. You're getting a pat down too, Shinzo." As Shinzo says, "Oh, fuck." As Aizawa pats down Shinzo, as he realizes Shinzo's not carrying anything. Alright, carry on. So, yeah, Shinzo moves out of the way as he goes to the waiting room. He's just like, as that's where Todoroki and Bakugo are at, as the two of them have become fast friends in the past 2 months that Deku and Shinzo have been gone. As Jiro gets in there, she sits right down next to Shinzo, saying, you know, "You really do need to brighten up." As Shinzo would look, and Jiro's actually grown out her hair. Not a whole lot of it is grown, but it's a nice little change of pace. As he says, "Wow, look at you, being more feminine. You look good." As Jiro says, "Stop it right there. I don't want people thinking that me and you are in a relationship." As Shinzo says, "Of course not. I'm being professional here. But all truth aside, you do look good." As she would say, "Thanks, idiot." As Shinzo's just like, "Fucking hell." But he would say, "So, what have you been up to for the past 2 months?" She'd say, "Cleaning, taking apart, putting it back together." As Shinzo's like, "How good have you gotten at it?" She says, "I could do it blindfolded now. You should be proud." As basically everyone's asking, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" As Ichiro's like, "Oh, fuck." As Shinzo says, "It's just a hobby, statue collecting, you know, taking it apart, putting it back together, that type of stuff. It could come in handy." As they're just like, "Oh, you guys are weird. Okay, never mind." As Jiro's just like, great, you made yourself look even weirder. As Shinzo corrects her, saying, we are weirder. As Deku enters the room finally after just finally getting past Aizawa's pat down, as he's just like, oh, fucking idiot. As, Shinzo's like, what? Not allowed to carry your rocks. As Deku's, they're runes. They are runes, not rocks. As basically Shinzo's like, uh-huh. As Deku says, fuck off, Kiritsugu. As Shinzo just says, right back at you. Ku. As they're like, do you guys have pet names for each other now? As Deku and Shinzo stare at everyone saying, shut the fuck up. As everyone's kind of just like, yeah, we can't joke with either of them now. As Cammy would come up there and kind of knee check Deku, as he would kind of fall backwards, as Cammy would catch him and hug him from behind, as Deku would say, oh, well, I'm not going to turn down two voluptuous melons on my back now, are I? As Cammy says, great to see you again. As Shinzo says, do you two need a room? There's a free one right next door. As Deku would say, might take you up on that offer, but at a later time. As Cammy gets down and says, only if you're a good boy. As Shinzo just says, whatever. As Azawa says, cut the chatter. Come on out now. As everyone would get down there, as it's the first event, which will be the race. As Midnight explains the rules, Deku's pretty much just like, yeah, alright, I can teleport. Shinzo, on the other hand, is like, oh, yes. Time Alter, Square Excel, here I come. As Midnight says, go. And Shinzo activates Time Alter, Square Excel, blitzing it all the way through as he gets past everything. All the way to the end where he's the first one to arrive by a split nanosecond. And I mean a nanosecond, as Ku teleports right there beside him, as people are kind of confused as who got there first. As Midnight's trying to examine the footage, but it seems like they both appeared at the same time. So she just says, okay, well, I guess they'll have to split the points. So instead of, Deku or Shinzo being the only ones to get the 10 billion points, they're both worth 5 billion points each. As pretty much they just look at each other and says, even as Shinzo's saying, even with this guy. And pretty much Deku's just like, stole my thunder again, didn't he? As it's now time for the cavalry battle. And this is where I'm going to shove it back over to Underworld. And we'll pick it back up in the third section. So, Underworld, take it away.
Alright, so we have the cavalry battles being, as Midnight declares, cavalry battles. Everybody teams up in a team of 4, and whoever snags the most points by the end wins. As, well, Deku just thinks, who should I have on my team? As he goes, oh, of course, as he turns around, of course I'll have you on here, love. As Cammy just says, can't live without me, can ya? And it's like, I know, there's 2 months that are unbearable. My, you sure know how to make a woman happy, don't you? Well, maybe if you tip me up on that offer after the sports festival, I can show you how true that sentence is. As then, well, as Turkey Army and a girl and two other girls pop up and says, well, Turkey Army butts in by saying, um, can we join your team? As he looks around and see that it's Mei Hatsume um and I'm going to say Ibarra from class 1B, as they said, as Ibarra says, please, no unholy act shall be committed in front of the people here. It is very sinful in the eyes of the Lord. Oh, whatever you say, Mother Mary. Well, I used to believe in the old Catholic, but the turn that went Protestant now, so I can't exactly say I'm a believer. And as well, Barry was confused and it's like, nothing much. Don't think about it too much. As he says, don't worry guys, this will be quite easy actually. Everybody goes, how's it gonna be quite easy? As he says, well, when I was in London for about 2 months, I've picked up a few tricks or a bunch. And everybody just starts thinking, when is this man around? It's like, as then Izuku looks at Kami and says, "Honest love, if you might be so impressed that you'd fall for me head over heels. Maybe big boy, but that only happens if you win the sports festival." As Ibarra butts in again as they go, all right, I see that jokes aren't your thing. As then, the time is up for people to make their teams, and it comes out to being on Midoriya's team, Mei Hatsume, Ibarra, Tokiyami, Emi, and Deku. Either on Shinsou's team, it's Jiro, Momo, Momo, Tetsuna, and I'm going to say Tetsu, along with, well, Ritsugu. As the time starts, everybody starts rushing towards these two, the two teams, because they're worth 5 billion points each, and whoever gets their hand, well, whoever with larger points on their head gets that 5 billion wins. Everybody starts trying to gang up on them, and Deku just says, thought you'd try something. As he starts writing out a few runes, one each on his teammates. He says, "Wait, what are you doing? What's that glowing?" As he says, just some protection." As he clamps his hands together. Now this is impenetrable. Not even she could punch right through it. As everybody goes, "What the hell are you talking about? How are we supposed to win if we can't score points?" Ahead of you. As he starts writing down a circle of runes, and he starts writing down a circle of runes as a small portal appears and a fairy comes out of it. He says, "Yes. Now grab the one on top of her head." As the fairy starts buzzing off as we cut over to Kiritsugu now, who is using his Time Alter Square Excel along with Time Alter Stagnant, as he's running so fast and so fast the cameras can't even picking it up, and so it's untraceable by any of the people's senses. as he snags everybody's butt. Well, Bakugo, Todoroki, and I'm going to say it would be a good one. Onima's teams, headbands. He snags all their headbands except for those 5. Except for the 5 others, including himself. As everybody's just waiting, as the camera is pinned back on him with all the points in his hands, as he goes, what the hell just happened? And the people are going insane. As then Kuretsuki puts the bands around his neck and says, "Oh, that was quite boring." As then a fairy starts coming close to Kuretsuki and it's like, "What the hell is that?" As it picks up one of the bands as he tries to snatch it back. The fairy was too fast, and then it flew back over it and into the shield and passed around Midoriya's neck. Well, at least I'm coming second place in this one. I tried to get the one that was on top of her head, but now it was in his hands. Must be using that damn altar of his. Altar? When he feels like shouting, he'll tell you about it. Oh, you got any plans for the weekend, love? As he goes down to Kami. He's like, I don't have much plans. Oh, do you want to take me out to the city? Have you been to London? He says, oh, London. No, I haven't. Maybe we can go and get some breakfast from Trafalgar Square. As then somebody starts trying to blow up the shield and says, "Come out of there, you loser! I'll break down your shield." And Parker says, "Oh, you won't. Not even my berserker of a master could break the shield. Penetrable. Try going and fighting Shinsou." And after many efforts to try and fighting amongst the rest of the students to get their headbands back from Shinsou's team, it was all to no avail as Todoroki started freezing the competition around him so he could get the points for himself and win. Bakugo was trying to break down the shield. And as President Mike calls, time is up! Let's see, top 5. We have Monoma. Oh, 5th place, Monoma. 1,500 points. 4th place, Atsuki Bakugo. 1,600 points. 3rd place, Todoroki with 2,000 points. 2nd place, Izuku Midoriya with 5,002,000 points. And one who won it all, not Shinsou anymore. The brand new Shitsugu Toshi. There it goes. What's with the change? As with a grand spanking total of 5,100,000 points. I'm going to correct something. Shinsou changed his first name from Atoshi to Kuretsugu. So, Shinsou Kuretsugu. As now we move on to the second round of battles. As it comes up to first match being Onma versus Shinsou. Shinsou at first just walked into the arena, and Monoma started saying, "So, you think you're high and mighty, better than everybody else? I'd be too if I had a powerful quirk. But mine's even more amazing. I can borrow everybody's." as he starts flashing explosions and hardening all over his body. How are you gonna win against me? You're so fast you knock me out the ring? Wanna fire a super speed quirk? As he starts trying to aggravate Shinsou to try and launch an attack so he can counter. As Shinsou just says, mutters under his breath, I'm Ultra Triple XL. That timer, what? As Shinsou kicks Monoma right in the stomach as he gets flung out of the arena and dented into the wall. Doesn't matter how many quirks you have, if you can't react, you can't last. Mistake number one, you got cocky. As he walks back down and into the bleachers, waiting for the next match to start up. As a few people in stretchers come up and clean Monoma up. As on the way up, he saw a red-haired girl standing in the stands right across from Class 1A. Kendo. As she says, thanks for cleaning him up. He gets a bit foul-mouthed when he's excited. No worries. I had to beat him anyway, so I thought I might as well do everybody a service by getting it done quickly. He walks back up and he walks up into the bleachers, and then it was time for round 2. Oh, the second battle of the first round, as it's Tokiyami against Bakugo. As Tokiyami puts up a fight against Bakugo isn't letting up, and he starts to notice. Haha, that's right, you big chicken. Explosion produced light, which your dark shadow seems to be afraid of. Let's turn this bird into some fried fucking chicken, shall we? As he starts laying down explosions after explosions, as dark shadow is getting smaller and smaller until ultimately having to crawl inside of Tokiyami's body just to conserve its energy. As Bakugo grips him by the beak and goes, give up now, dumb bird, or would you want to become fried chicken? I concede. There, better. As then we have then we skip past all the other filler battles, and it comes up to Todoroki versus Tetsu. As this one's an interesting one because you have somebody who's made of steel about to bust through iron. We'll say Todoroki's going to win, as then Dorian just says to himself, Tetsu is going to, once he uses the fire side of his, Tetsu is going to beat his ass. Todoroki starts launching ice towards Tetsu. He just starts running. And he just runs right through the ice, taking away at every impact. As he starts punching and kicking, he just keeps running forward. He doesn't feel affected by the cold at all. However, after all the waves of ice being sent, Todoroki starts getting starting to come across his body. As then, well, interested in Midoriya says, just poor into it, Kiss wants to be a hero. He says, yeah, I'll give you a bit of help. He writes her into the ground, compulsion rune. As he flicks a small rock in the stadium and hits Todoroki in the head. And fire starts activating. All the frostbite melts off his body, and flames combust out from the right side of his left side of his body. Whatever side the flame is on. It's combusting out of the body. And then Tetsu starts to take a step back. Hot, but you're not enough to melt steel. As then Midoriya just starts muttering words. And for some reason, but people didn't notice this as they're too caught up with Todoroki. Yeah, your steel is strong, Pt.3 Ft. But it can't. What happens if I suddenly drop the temperature? Pt.3 Ft goes, oh shit! And then he gets blasted with a wave of ice. As his skin starts to crack and starts to break off of him. And he gets hit by another fire, then ice, then fire, until almost all of this hard metal falls off his body. And he gets blasted back by another wave of ice and sent out the arena. As his skin is just so worn and cracked. Todoroki's the winner! As this is where I'll hand it back to. This is where I'll hand it to Crown.
So the next battle would be Bakugo versus Deku, because we're just gonna skip all the other ones, as we're just gonna go ahead and speed this up because it's over 2 hours at this point, and we still have to just wrap this part up because busy people got things to do, all that good stuff. Anyway, so with this, Bakugo would actually be pretty cocky at fighting Deku this time because Bakugo thinks that Deku is just over there for a medical checkup. He doesn't know what Deku is actually doing. So Bakugo says, you may have beaten me all throughout the time, but you missed out on 2 months of training. Just over there getting your medical checkup shit for your fucked up body. So I'm gonna take my time and beat the living dog shit out of you. As Deku says, the dog you think he's gotten too big now, huh? Let me remind you just how small you are. As basically Midnight would say, ready? Fight. As Bakugo would try to just rush right at Deku would copy something from his master. One punch to the gut, sending Bakugo flying back as Bakugo would slam into the fucking wall as he would be indented into it. He couldn't get out of the wall. And on top of that, he was barely conscious. As Deku's like, ooh, kind of went a little bit overboard there. Sorry, Chihuahua. Sorry, boy. As pretty much Shinzo's just like, looks like my fight's up now. So he would be walking down there to the arena as he would pass Deku as he would say, don't get too cold. You'll be coming right back down here soon enough. As Deku would just look at him and say, alright, sure. As basically Shoto would be in the ring again, as he would say, you saw what happened to Tetsu. Don't think that this will happen to you. As basically, Shinzo says, shut up. I don't care about your issues. I'm just here to win this. So come at me with everything you got. Hold back, you'll regret it. Otherwise, this will be done in a second. As Shoto says, yeah, well, you'll be frozen solid before you can even touch me. As Shinzo says, not a fact. Huh. As pretty much, Shinzo would say, call the match already. As Midnight would say, right, fight. As Shinzo would say, time alter, square excel. As he would blitz Shoto, as he would see the ice starting to form, he would jump into a spinning back heel kick to Shoto's face, basically just shattering the left side of his skull and send him flying outside of the arena, tumbling all the way off the stage as the ice would just stop forming as Midnight's just like, what the hell just happened? As basically Shinzo would be declared the winner, as Todoroki would be taken to get immediate medical assistance, as Bakugo would be declared the third place winner by default. As he's just like, I don't like this at all. As Shinzo would look at Bakugo and say, you might thank me. After all, I did just guarantee you third place. As Bakugo just says, shut up, you purple-haired fuck. Shinzo would just say, watch your mouth or I'll cut out your fucking tongue, dog. As Bakugo is just immediately terrified of Shinzo. The look in his eyes that says that he'll do it and he'll do it in front of people. So Bakugo shuts up as Deku's called down to the ring as it's time for the final match. As the match is set, as Deku and Shinzo have a request. As everyone's just like, huh? A request? As the request is heard by Nezu. As the request is that they're allowed to use their hero outfits with all of their support items and that there be no ring outs. Nezu's thinking that this is a very interesting request, as he would say, I'll allow it. After all, you're both from the same class, so it's not like I'm giving an advantage to either one of you. I'm just allowing you to use your full potential. So I'll allow it. Go get changed. Reconvene here in 30 minutes. As everyone's like, wait, has this happened before? Like, no, not even the third years get this type of treatment. As rumors will be going around about Shinzo and Deku, as they have these weird quirks. Like, no one's seen a speed quirk as fast as Shinzo. And no one's seen, rune quirks, anything near what Deku's doing, like, at all. People are just wondering, like, are these super mutated quirks, or is this like a new fourth class of quirks? As they just don't know what's going on. As rumors are spreading around to the students now that they have a fourth generation quirk, and that's why they're so much better than them. As they're just like, what do you mean, a fourth generation? A fourth class? That's insane. Whatever. As Deku comes out in his attire, which you could see right behind him on the thumbnail, as Shinzo comes out in his attire, which, once again, look behind him on the thumbnail and you'll see, as the two enter the arena, as Deku just says, oh, what's wrong? Not carrying any weapons. As Shinzo says, sorry, but I am. As basically, Deku is just getting his staff ready as Shinzo gets out the black keys. As he activates it, as 6 blades come out of the 6 keys. As Nezu's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Bladed weapons are not going to be allowed. If you use them, you'll be disqualified. As Shinzo says, fuck. Alright, well, that's a handicap for me. And then he looks at Deku's staff and says, I'm gonna use that as a bat. Deku's like, the fuck? You're not using my staff as a bat. And Shinzo says, watch me. As Midnight starts the fight, as Deku throws his keys out of the arena, and Midnight has to dodge them, but she realizes once they're out of his hands and hit the ground, the blades disappear. She's like, the fuck? So, Deku blitzes Shinzo with his runes as he pulls out 3 as they shoot towards Shinzo. Shinzo's using triple excel to kind of dodge them out of the way as he's just like, gosh damn it, can't use a gun, can't use anything but my hands. Luckily, that damn phony priest taught me some good martial arts. As he would kick out one of Deku's legs and kick him in the back, but that's when 3 runes would come back and hit Shinzo right in the side, flooring him. as he's just like, gosh damn it. As the fight would go on with magic versus magic, but ultimately Shinzo's wore down. He's tired because he can use none of his weapons that's on him. No bladed objects, no guns, nothing. So he just puts it all on this one move. All right. Time Alter. Square Excel. As he also uses Time Stagnant. And he goes so fast, Deku can't see him. As he takes his staff and slams it over Deku's head. And Deku starts to bleed a bit as the staff breaks. As everyone just sees Kiritsugu with the staff broken over Deku's head, as Midnight calls out that, Kiritsugu Shinzo has been disqualified for the use of a weapon against another opponent. And Shinzo's like, it's a staff! And she says, it was fine as a staff for him to amplify his quirk, not to be used as a weapon. As Shinzo's just like, fair enough. He's gonna need a new one anyway, holding up the broken end of the staff as he throws it to the ground, saying, well, looks like I technically lost. So, the deal with you and Cammy, well, I guess it's still on. But we'll chalk this up to a personal tie between us, since I couldn't use my weapons. As Deku says, you're a bloody maniac, that's what the fuck you are. As pretty much Deku would say that he'll have a word with him later about his staff. Shinzo says, yeah, whatever. As Shinzo would leave, Cammy would run up to Deku and would say, let's take you somewhere to get patched up. As Deku's like, you ruined my fucking fur coat. Okay, now he's definitely paying the bill. As pretty much Cammy would get Deku not to the nurse's office, but a private room. And this is where the 18 plus scene comes in. For those of you who aren't of 18 plus, please do not really watch this part of the video. You can skip about a solid minute ahead. This is your only warning. Alright, we good? Men of culture around? Women of culture? I don't judge. Let's go. As Cammy would push Deku onto the bed, she would say, let's take off this coat and get into something more comfortable. As Deku would say, oh yes. As he would take off Cammy's clothes, start sucking on her tits. As he would pull her closer, she would mess with his hair. As she would put her hand slowly down his chest. As Deku would be like, yes, this is what I've needed. As he would take off Cammy's pants, as he would see that she wasn't wearing any panties. She would finish disrobing Deku as she would once again pin him to the ground as she would get on top of him, riding him, while telling him to beg for more, to call her mistress. As Deku would say, I didn't know you were into this type of stuff, but alright, mistress. Do what you want with me. As she would just say, I plan to. As she would ride Deku, as they would switch positions, as she would tell Deku that it's his turn, as he would go. They would pretty much do 69, reverse cowgirl, doggy style, missionary, fucking fold Cammy like a pretzel, all those different positions, as Deku would ultimately, pull out as he's finishing up. As Cammy would say, who told you to pull out? As Deku would say, I did. My own bloody instincts. I had a feeling that I would have killed my kid if we had one. He was like, the fuck is Deku's like, I don't know. Weird dream I've had. Okay? Weird dream. Just Yeah, that's why. Kami was like, "You're a fucking maniac." But she would take his head and pull it down to her as she said, "Next time, you're doing what I say. No arguing." And she would pat him on the cheeks. She would get dressed and say, "Well, you might want to get dressed before people realize you're in the girls' locker room." As she would leave Deku there. As this is where I'm going to turn it back over to Underworld. Have fun.
Yep. Ah, have fun I will. Jesus. Ah. So, after the sports festival, there, Aizawa starts bringing up the concept of hero names for everybody to choose from. And after careful deliberation, he starts asking everybody one by one what they, well, he gets Midnight to come in and help them with names, as they were having a hard time with. As Deku's just thinking, well, what could I call myself? And, well, everybody else seemed to be having the same very complex, as then Sue would come up and say, I want my hero name to be Floppy. As everybody goes, finally, saying to relieve myself. And then if you start thinking, alright, I think I might go with that one. But Kenny beats him to it and says, as then she would say, you're the mysterious heroess, illusionary, the illusionary maiden. As and Midnight says, ooh, saucy. As then Deku would say, it fits your personality. She goes, quite. And then Deku comes up and says, hero of light, Ku Kalane. As Hilda says, why did you choose the name? Well, there was a great sorcerer in ancient legend, ancient Celtic legend. And since I happen to be Irish in a sense, I thought it fit me well. As Midnight goes, ooh, now that's very tough. Very nice. As then Kuritsugu comes up after him and is like, alright, gotta get this out of the way. I'm the Counter Guardian hero, Kuritsugu. As and Midnight just says, why is it your name? I do not fight for to put a name or alias out there. I fight for justice, and name Kuritsugu to me, my name, is to bring justice. As I am a hero for justice and the Counter Guardian. As Midnight says, oh, it's quite a name. But I suppose it shall do. Counter Guardian Kuritsugu it is. As then everybody else starts picking their own hero names. As Al walks back in. Alright, you done playing dress up and playing fiction? Alright, now time to get into the real thing. We've got polls from internships all over the country. People putting it in internships for different agencies. As and pulls up the screen as Ritsugu would have just I'd say a handful less than Deku did because of his very, very bold personality trait of being a bit of a hard ass. He got a few less votes, however, got just as many. Well, way more than the rest of the class did. As he goes, alright, just had to choose an agency. Hey, race ahead. You happened to work in that. You happened to be one of them, didn't you? How'd you know? I could tell. I'll take you up on your offer, but I'll I'll work under I'll work in Hosu. I know my work isn't too far out from the middle of Hosu, but why'd you choose mine just for Hosu? Well, it has a higher crime rate than usual, so I thought it'd be a good chance to enact some justice. As then, as like, alright then. I didn't give a shit anyway. And Deku comes up and says, I'm gonna take up an offer from what's his name? He used to be real quick. Old man, Gran Torino. I realized I wasn't doing that in Irish accent. Take the old man's offer. Go, Gran Torino. How do you want to go with Gran Torino, Midoriya? Well, there's one thing that I find abundantly clear is that if I want to get better at trying to fight this asshole, I need to be able to react quicker. While my master in London certainly was ferocious. She wasn't quite as fast. No, but she was a lot more prepared. And alright then. Everybody's got their internships. So over the next 2 weeks, every day you're gonna be going after school, you're gonna be going to your internships. This as an opportunity and don't fuck up. Everybody goes, right. As and we come to a night as well, Izuku introduced himself to Gran Torino. It says, no, you're not dead on the floor, old man. I can still sense life in you. Oh, certainly sharp, young man. Well, comes with experience, really. Cocky, aren't you? I was just stating the truth. I didn't mean to be cocky. God, I thought I would have gotten that beaten out of me. Got a spry one, that's for sure. Quite unusual. But, how'd you choose my agency? First, you got experience, and you seem to be a right fit. Good answer. Alright then, if you want to learn how to beat someone fast, try landing a hit on me. As good as well, Izuku starts firing runes at or seeking runes to try and find a way towards Gran Torino. So he just dodges around them easily and says, "Too slow, bucko." He punches him square in the chin and then dashes off after bouncing off Izuku and knocking him down. Ah, you don't hit as hard as her, but you're definitely a lot faster than she is. Like a fly. Well, this fly can move very fast, young whippersnapper. As he starts bouncing around the room, keep knocking into Izuku and punching him in all the spots. And just to hammer it home, punched him right in the balls. That's like, shit. Low blow, old man, low blow. That weird accent of yours disappeared when I punched in the balls. I'm so fucking angry that I can't process what I had to say. Ah, there it is. Yeah, a fast one for sure, but not quite as fast. You should work on your reflexes. That master of yours was definitely had to be something if she managed to keep up with some of my movements. However, I'm just going to tell you now, I wasn't moving at full speed. Because, what, old man? You heard me. Now, come on. I'm gonna train you for a bit to be able to make up for that weakness to speed. As over a week of a week of speed training, Izuku has gotten better and better at reacting towards Gran Torino. However, Gran Torino can still hit him. He can at least keep up with Gran Torino at his normal pace. As then Gran Torino decides to say, "All right, kid, you seem to be ready. I'm gonna take you on a little trip. And where are we going?" Osu. Mean to bet my rounds, and one of the teams down there said they needed some extra help covering one of the sectors because of a hero got injured recently due to all the stain attacks. Stain? Stain? Yeah, some villain, or vigilante who keeps attacking heroes thinking that they're unjust. As, oh, I see. As, we're not afraid about that, okay? Let's take the train. As they were running along the train, just there about 20 minutes outside of the center of the city, loud, loud fire and ringing can be heard in the back. As Izuku looks out the window, and is like, "What the hell's going on?" As I'm not quite sure. There's a loud smash as they run into the compartment in front of them. As I see a giant purple, purple and red Nomu sticking out of it. It's one of these fuckers again. It's like, "Go on, sonny boy, take it down." As Katrina started rushing towards him, belting at high speeds, and knocked the Nomi out of the carriage car. "Protect the citizens!" As then, as Midori starts casting a rune, as this train suddenly starts repairing itself. It's like, "Alright, get to the nearest authorities, get to the station, and get out. I'm gonna make sure that there's none of those still on the tracks." He teleports out, and he sees fires all over the city from rampant Nomus. Like shit. As he starts casting grand ancient rune, primordial rune, Almasis, as he points his staff up into the air. Downpour. As rain starts pouring down and the fires start going out. Taking care of one thing, now back to the normals. As then, well, he heard him scream that was right near where the trains were. As he ran down to where it was and saw Peter collapse on the ground with an injury through his arm. A, a hero that was killed, and a man with bandages wrapped around his face, bleeding out. "No, no, no, don't!" As a gunshot rings through the air. Both doesn't deserve to live. As looks up and sees it was Shinsou. Alright, this is where I'm gonna wrap up part 3 to the collaboration. Ground, what were your thoughts? And would you like to give yourself an outro?
I think we ended it at a good point. And as always, people, I am the Emperor, the Crown Fiend. You can find me in the description box below. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day. And we'll pick this up again next week on my channel. So, as always, peace.
Alright. Have a good one, people, and the King of Underworld is gonna take one back, so enjoy the rest of your day and see you next time.